Hello and welcome to the Candle Audio Lesson Plans. I am your mindset coach Daud Waid, a part of Sky Education and Golden Sparrow team, where we spend 3 years designing and curating this life skill curriculum with SDG tags. Today, we're going to review the book Indigo. As you have understood, violet, indigo, blue, that's how the sequence of the book. And this is the second book in series, and you can see the indigo background that you have just to make you familiar with what we're talking about. Since it's the first session, a quick review of what indigo and candle curriculum means to us, that this is a book which has 13 themes. I'm going to review 3 or 4 themes in each session. So as a teacher, you look at the theme, you understand what is to be given to a student, and then you start enacting it. The books are like a framework. So you'll not find a lot of text into the book. Rather, you'll find a lot of activities that a student is expected to do with teacher acting as a mentor or a facilitator. Each of these theme will be divided into a certain skill and an SDG tag that I'll be explaining as we go ahead. Each activity that I teach you under a theme is to be done per week. So we're looking at 13 themes, 3 activities in each theme. So we're looking at 39 weeks, which is essentially a school academic year, with the 40th week could be a project work, an assignment, an assessment, something that they can culminate the success of finishing an entire candle book. So let's get started. Jump into the first theme, which is life skill. And what is the skill tag I want to teach the children? The skill is empathy. Not too much of text has gone into this, so I'll explain. The idea is, first of all, the teacher try to differentiate the word empathy from the word sympathy. And you can have tons of work and research on it, but I'll give you a very simple explanation and a wonderful activity to play with. We always heard this example that empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is putting yourself in somebody's shoes. Empathy is removing your shoes and then putting on a new shoe. So, how about if you have a physical class, even if you're taking an online session, asking a child or student to go and wear somebody's shoes, maybe your mom's heel if there's a boy, or a father's big shoe, and start walking? You will realize how difficult it is. And a student will understand that today's world, we are privileged. We are privileged by, if you open up a tap and the water comes in, if you have a fridge in your house, if you have warm water to take bath in, and if you get your 3 course meal every day, you are among the 2% in the world who are privileged. They are homeless, they are hungry people, and they're people living in war-torn area. So this is what empathy will mean to us. What do you teach your child? So in the week one, we take them through this exercise. I name it A1, and you will go to A2, where let's say an alien comes from Saturn. I'll talk a lot about it. What would you name these alien? I have named Ajuba. Ajuba is a Hindi word which means strange, but you can speak a lot about it. Saturn is a very cold planet. So tell me something about Saturn. That's a conversation. Something interesting. It has rings. Yes, the only planet with a halo effect. What do you mean by the halo effect? Something, you speak about it. And I would love to bring in this psychological concept called the halo effect and the horns effect, the opposite of it. Have you seen the halo effect where there's a ring right on your head? And the halo effect says when people who might be good looking, who might look very nice, and suddenly people think they're also very smart. Good looking students get better marks than students who are not, which is very sad. And that is where the empathy comes in. The horn effect, for that matter, is, let's say somebody has a scar. And the moment the scar makes you look evil or ugly, you start thinking the person is bad. Who knows, the scar was by fighting somebody, saving a lady on road, or scar was because of fighting at the borders and a very patriotic soldier. So the horns effect is the opposite of the halo effect, and this is what we're talking about. Why do we always depict aliens as ugly creatures, dark eyes? Why can't aliens be the one with wonderful things? Does alien represent a Lucifer, a Satan, or alien represent an angel? Do you believe in aliens, by the way? So, as you talk about this activity, as you do a lot of it, a teacher will have to do a lot of hands on, and you need to spend time explaining, because the conversation may end very soon unless you ask them to do something. So, when this alien comes in, You have named Ajuba. I've named him Ajuba. You can name anything. Why don't you send a postcard to the alien? And I'm talking about postcard where student says hello, greeting about the environment the earth is in. What do we have in abundance? Perhaps oxygen, SDG goals, number 30. That's a tag. We might be losing out on the environment. Speak about it. How is the life out there? A lot of conversation can go on, and that's the empathy. You can take this a little further and say, why don't you write a letter to the dolphin or the whale who are actually depleting? Or the letter to Australia where the kangaroos and the koalas are facing endangerment. It could be the tribe in African Sahara forest who now, because of the colonialization, because of the modern colonialization buildings, we are losing out. A lot of conversation can just go on this one topic. My second one is a personal favorite of mine is developing empathy through stray dogs. The entire pandemic year, me and my daughters made sure we feed the stray dogs. And this was one of the best experience I had. I tweeted and did Facebook post on it. How about you now taking care of it? Until that moment, I perhaps was averse to it. I did not like these dogs. They would howl in the night and they would be irritating until I realized I am encroaching their land, which they belong first, rather than the opposite way. So imagine there was a street dog which gave birth to 5 puppies across your street. The puppies have no home, almost being, run over by a speeding car. Children throw stones at them. What do you do? How do you feel about the puppies? What can you do for your puppies and kittens? Have you ever joined a pet for adoption? A kind of program? What are the things that a puppy would need? Just do an activity around it. You can also have a little fun asking about the young ones of each animal. For example, the fun one would be, what is a joey? Joey is a young one of a kangaroo. What about calf? Calf and cubs are very common. Any new ones I can think of? What about the bird ones called chicks? The idea is this is a program where it develops multiple areas that you have to speak about. And stray dog is one definite one you should speak about. In some other exercise, I had a stray dog organization. If you had to make a shelter for the puppy, what is it called, by the way? Kennels. How would you design it? What kind of puppies do you have? And one final exercise, another one that I love talking about is how many breeds of dogs can your students name? From Alsatian, Doberman, Pomeranian. What are the other ones? Oh, Dachshund, Greyhounds. There is Doberman. So many of them. Beagles. A lot of it can be spoken about. There is Husky. There is German Shepherd. There is Chihuahua. There's little ones. Oh, trust me, you will have fun only talking about that. And that will be one exercise. Finally, on A4, my skill set on empathy is imagine you're playing and suddenly a boy in a wheelchair comes across. How would you react to it? Our children do not know how to react to handicapped kids. I know in my own society there is a little mentally challenged boy, and I want to develop empathy for the others when they play around. He does not know what he's doing. He throws water, throws tantrum, pushes them. How do you talk to them? How do you develop empathy? Would you allow the boy in the wheelchair to play maybe as a goalkeeper? How about he letting a lot of goals go away? What would you do? Will you only have sympathy with him or will you actually go the extra mile? Do you know kids like that? And that is a conversation we can speak about. You can speak about actual people with physical disability. If, for example, in Paralympics, what they do, how they have fun. There are some amazing episodes. I know one on KBC with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan where a Paralympic came in and how were the treatment given to them. You can speak about journalizing and then develop the empathy. Do they know anybody in their family with someone like that? And this would be a great conversation on the empathy skill tag that we're talking about. So a lot of things can be worked on. One little thing I want to speak about is wheelchair a hindrance in life? Is that something you would like to speak or more? Meet somebody in a wheelchair, interview someone. What is their attitude towards it? What's the biggest disability in your life? As a mindset coach, I can tell you the biggest disability is in the mind, it's not outside you. So this is what we have in a first episode, the first theme of the Indigo Candle book. Right. So what do I have for you next? Let me go to the next theme here. And my next theme here in this very series is non-violence. Well, the theme is newsmaker. In newsmaker, one of the newsmaker and the skill tag of problem solving is an activist group. Do you know Greenpeace as an organization have won Nobel Prize? So, of course, I can talk about climate activism's SDG tag 13, but I'm choosing 12 and 16 on responsible consumption and peace and justice and institutions which are strong institutions. What do you think about Greenpeace? Do you know about Greenpeace warriors? What is peace, by the way? Is it just the absence of war? What about peace with nature? How about animals that are affected because of human selfish greed and we mine and we put plastic on the ocean? What about all of these? So think about Greenpeace and the activism it does. There are huge ships that Greenpeace comes in, and one of the great work of Greenpeace, especially against whale hunting. Only two countries in the world actually officially hunt whales: Japan and Norway. Go about, do some discussion about it. What do you think about these countries and what can Greenpeace and you can do to stop it? Is it good to hunt whales, by the way? They use harpoons to hunt whales. Show a video of a whale hunting and there'll be a lot of conversation around it. Well, of all the pollution that we have, how can you have peace in the ocean? 1 out of 3 shark species are endangered, and 6 out of 7 marine turtles are endangered, including the famous one, the Oliver Ridley turtle that swims all the way to India in Odisha. Write down 5 reasons why our oceans are getting polluted. As teachers, you can think of plastic, oil containers, human, offshore drilling that we can think of, huge ships that we go ahead, or perhaps more plastic, more containers. Our beaches are contaminated. And those are some of the reasons I like to talk about. We don't talk about non-violence in the way of Greenpeace, and I really want our activists to take this forward. Another great activity, and this could be a physical activity-based thing that you speak about, is white as a sign of peace. Why do you think white is used as a sign of peace? Which faith endorses white a lot? Which countries have white in their flag? Perhaps the most used color in limited areas also is white. So what makes white so important? A lot of religious groups have white, dresses which symbolizes that they're peaceful, they do not want to go to war. What do you have? Write and make your own white flag and write a message on it. Think of anything. I would like you to encourage your students to make a white flag. It could be a cloth piece, it could be a paper, something, and what kind of message you would like to have. What are the other white things you can think of? This is my parallel track. Think of all the white animals. Oh, well, I can only think of polar bear, but I can think of a lot of white and black animals. Maybe a white tiger, maybe a husky, or maybe the white and black animal. Like kind of fun talking about pandas and penguins and anteaters and orca, the killer whale. I gave you 4 of them. Think of more. White food. Well, I can think of lasagnas and I can think of pastas and mayonnaise and think of something more. Definitely curd rice. If you're South Indian, I love curd rice for that matter. Rice in general is white. What about cloth? White cloth could be the pilgrimage clothes that people use in a lot of countries, in a lot of places, anything that can think of white as in cloth. While, by the way, why do people wear white in marriages, in Christian marriages, and black at funerals? Is it the other way around in some other faith? Think about it. Electrical things are white in nature. Maybe they're very conspicuous. You can see them very clearly. And you can talk a lot about it. Dress repeats itself, but white would be a great symbol. Think about white as the color that takes all the color inside it. Well, finally, my third activity in Newsmakers in Indigo is the symbol of peace itself. Earlier, we spoke about the flag of peace. This is a very common symbol used for peace. What do you think it stands for? Does it have a victory sign into it? Who do you think actually coined this? Do some research, get into the idea of what are the peace symbols around the world. And my tag here is creative thinking. And generally, I would like to have one tag across in one theme, but these are great themes you're looking into, making students creative, making students think about it. And this is where we end up with. Look at the way this peace symbol has been used. One of the most resounding success of the symbol and almost touching way of the symbol being used was after the Paris attack. You can see the Eiffel Tower and you can see the French flag behind. What happened in the massacre that happened in France? France as a country is a diasporan country. A lot of Muslims have moved from Senegal, African countries. A lot of Africans have come in. So France is a conglomeration of Muslim faith, Christian faith, few other faiths around. How do they coexist? Think about the French national team. This team have won the last recent FIFA World Cup, and Barack Obama mentioned this is the exact identity of what the world should look like. brilliant world. There are blacks and whites and Christians and Muslims and faith people and atheists. And I think it is a wonderful culmination of what this world should look like. If you had any other symbol for peace, what do you think your symbol would look like? We did a similar exercise in Violet as well, but now as you encourage your children to think about something more detailed, how about certain other areas? Do you think there are certain dates that are representing a particular area in your mind? Maybe 26/11 when the great floods came, or the tsunami, or the 9/11 when the Twin Towers were, when the planes crashed into it. Great, acts of terrorism that are still in our mind, and we deplore it, we condemn them, but maybe we should be more positive and think of better things that happen. Think of wonderful memories also. Try to use these occasions to create a positive mindset, a mindset of forgiveness, a mindset of peace, a mindset of togetherness. Finally, in my third theme discussion in the Indigo book is a theme called environment. And what am I going to talk about in environment? The 3 R's: reuse, reduce, and recycle. Well, we don't talk about so much of reducing it, right? We want to reuse and recycle, but how about reducing it? And the skill is self-awareness. The SDG tags are 3, 9, 12. You can add a lot more, but primarily 12, responsible consumption, is very important. What am I going to talk about in my first exercise? I'm going to talk about a waste-free lunch. How about going on a school picnic and everybody decides to get a lot of food? And where does the food come in? Plastic bags, aluminum foils, things that you will use. Most of us might buy plastic bottles, which are single-use plastic and a very dangerous part. So write down as a class activity an instruction to your school friends. How do you make a waste-free lunch? You know, Remember, you can do a research on edible water bottles. Really, a plastic bottle which is made from seaweed, so the plastic can be bubbled in and it's not harmful. Would you ever try something like that? And if there is excess food and material after lunch, how would you do it? Trust me, a lot of conversation can go into it. You can think about ways to reduce it. Think about buffets. So, every activity that I plan in the Candle curriculum has a parallel spin-off activity. Do most of the time food get wasted in buffets? Why don't you invite a chef and ask what happens to the food in a buffet when it is, when the food is, a lot of food is left over? Mother Teresa was invited to Norway, Oslo, to get her Nobel Peace Prize. And when she saw all the food being wasted, she said, I wish I can pack all the foods and take back to the slums of Kolkata and distribute it to the poor, the needy, and the hungry. What would you do with the food part of it? Do you waste food in your house? A good conversation as a spin-off again. My next activity on the environment in this theme of reuse and reduce and recycle is no to plastic. Well, I cannot emphasize enough about this particular activity. You see now the pattern is being formed that this particular themes have a lot of conversation, but I only give you a hint, a starter, and you as a teacher have to facilitate it. Why are plastic bags so bad at the end of the day? Why would you take a cloth bag or a paper bag instead of a plastic bag? Think about it. Remember, plastic and glass takes years to degrade, and yet they still remain in a soil. So how have you stopped taking plastic bag? I carry my cloth bag all the time, and I encourage the fruit vendors not to give me fruits or anything in plastic bag. Think of ways you can convert a plastic bag into a proper conversation with using cloth bag, which I endorse, or a paper bag at the least. What are the things you can recycle? List of 10 things you can recycle and have conversation on each of them. For example, do you know mobile phones can be recycled? Mobile phones are electronic gadgets. When they are not used, you throw them at the house and they remain there. You can have those bats, the one that kill mosquitoes need to be recycled. Your paper has to be recycled. There's so many things you can recycle, and that's a great conversation about it. Here is a good exercise you can use. So Mr. Caterpillar, and a standard name, right, have two bins, the blue bin and the green bin. The blue bin are the things that should be recycled, and the green trash, which is already biodegradable, goes in the green bin. Look at all these things, from the plastic bottle to the broken glass plate to the pizza box to the can to the newspaper to the paper bag to the rotten apple or the eaten apple. Which one goes where? And think of 5, 6, 10 more things that can go in different types. Do you have these kind of compost pits in your societies? encourage them to create the vermiculture. What is it? Show a video and have a discussion on those. My SDG tag definitely is goal number 12 and goal number 13. Finally, let's have some little word issues and have some wonderful recycling anagram or word gram with it. Remember the 3R that I keep talking about it? What are the other R words you can think about it? Rotate, remember, repair, realize, responsibility, retake, return, restore, replant, respect, reflect. Oh, well, it would be wonderful. Write down all the words you can use around this or show them the picture and make them guess again. You can have a lot of words. Each of them can make it into a sentence. You can make them into a word chain. One of them can start saying a word and the other says a definition. You can say the definition and the other have to do. Well, there is a lot of exercise you can do. Right? Now, there is a chair out there. Which of the R is this an example of? Can you reuse it? Can you recycle this? Can you perhaps break it down and make it into something new? There is a lot of things you can do on these exercises, and these are the 3 indigo thing I want to share with. I hope you enjoy. Ask me with your suggestion. Share what new you have done. I'm sure you as teachers are very creative and you can create a lot more than that. Share your notes for the students, and hopefully don't make it an academic subject, but the idea of this is a skill subject where they should come out skillful at the end of the day, more conscious, more aware. Good luck. God bless. Thank you so much.